You decided to write a letter. You were angry about an attack in the San Francisco Chronicle, so you wanted to write about income inequality. Tell everybody briefly what you said in the letter and what your goal was.
Well, it turned out to be the most widely read letter in the history of the Wall Street Journal, which of course is surprising, and it's because I used a forbidden word. I used the word Kristallnacht, which it shouldn't be used ever, I suppose. You shouldn't compare anything to the Holocaust, for example, because it's incomparable. And the same with Kristallnacht. Anyway, I said, is there a progressive war on the 1% that could be like the Kristallnacht? And that got everybody's attention. And I made the point that in Germany, 1% of the population was Jewish, and a mad, fiendish dictator used incredible political skills to focus hatred on that 1% and use it as a stepping stone to power. And I saw a parallel between our 1% here in America and that 1%. And so that's the parallel I drew.
Now, you've subsequently apologized for having used a Nazi reference, and you quickly follow that up by saying you are not apologizing for suggesting that victimizing a small minority is a bad idea, period, and that was your point, correct?
That was my point. And I just would like to just talk about this word for a minute. The Wall Street Journal on February 4th ran a rather long op-ed piece, which I've extracted to be very short. And it's by a professor at Harvard, Ruth Weiss. She's a professor of Yiddish and comparative languages, and she's written a couple of books about the Nazis and the Holocaust. And the headline is "The Dark Side of the War on the 1%." Two phenomena, anti-Semitism and the American class conflict. Is there any connection between them? In a letter to the Wall Street Journal, the noted venture capitalist Tom Perkins called attention to certain parallels, as he saw them, between Nazi Germany, its Jews, and Americans progressives on the 1%. For comparing two such historically disparate societies, Mr. Perkins was promptly and heatedly denounced. But there is something to be said for his comparison of the politics at work in the two situations. And this is, quote, "Are you unemployed? The Jews have your jobs. Is your family mired in poverty? The Rothschilds have your money." The parallel that Tom Perkins drew in his letter was especially irksome to his respondents on the left, many of whom are supporters of President Obama's sallies against Wall Street and the 1%. The ranks of those harping on unfairly high earners are playing with fire. Anyone seeking to understand the inner workings of such a campaign will find much food for thought in Mr. Perkins's parallel.